Unit 15. Gateway. Biological organisms, including human societies both with and without market systems, discount distant outputs over those available at the present time based on risks associated with an uncertain future. As the timing of inputs and outputs varies greatly depending on the type of energy, there is a strong case to incorporate time when assessing energy alternatives. For example, the energy output from solar panels or wind power engines, where most investment happens before they begin producing, may need to be assessed differently when compared to most fossil fuel extraction technologies, where a large proportion of the energy output comes much sooner, and a larger relative proportion of inputs is applied during the extraction process and not up front. Thus, fossil fuels, particularly oil and natural gas, in addition to having energy quality advantages, cost, storability, transportability, etc., over many renewable technologies, also have a temporal advantage after accounting for human behavioral preference for current consumption return. Due to the fact that people tend to favor more immediate outputs, fossil fuels are more competitive than renewable energy alternatives in regards to the distance between inputs and outputs. Exercise 1. Elder speak is characterized by several components. Which ones are beneficial for older adults and which ones are not helpful? Kemper and Hardin had older adults watch a videotape in which a speaker described a route that was also traced on a map. The older adults reported that the instructions were easier to follow when the speaker reduced the grammatical complexity and used semantic elaboration, that is, repeated and expanded upon what was said. Simpler grammar and semantic elaboration also helped older adults improve their accuracy when they had to reproduce the same route on a map of their own. In contrast, shortening the length of the speaker's utterances in 2- and 5-word sentences did not improve the older adults' comprehension of the instructions, nor did it improve their performance when they traced a map of their own. Also, the older listeners did not find that an extremely slow rate of speaking with many pauses or exaggerated prosody was helpful. To help older adults comprehend speech, simplified grammar or semantic elaboration is more effective than mechanically shortening sentences, slowing down speech, or using exaggerated pitch and intonation. Exercise 2. In one experiment, a student was required to wear an embarrassing T-shirt, one sporting a large image of Barry Manilow, a popular singer but of low prestige among college students, before entering a room in which a group of their peers were assembled. The scientists noted in their paper that all participants nonetheless put on the T-shirt, although none looked particularly thrilled about doing so. The wearer of the T-shirt was later asked to estimate the number of fellow students in the crowded room who definitely discerned the face on the T-shirt, and this was compared with the actual number who had noticed. In fact, the students were so consumed with their own embarrassment over wearing the clothes that they were unable to accurately gauge how conspicuous it was to others. The T-shirt wearers overestimated how many others spotted the embarrassing shirt on average by a factor of 2. According to the experiment above, we are far more attentive to what other people are looking at when we think that our appearance is being noted by others. Exercise 3. Dr. Davidson and his colleagues have shown that there is asymmetry in the prefrontal cortex reflecting our affective style. When there is more activity in the right side of the prefrontal cortex, it correlates with negative emotions, such as worry, sadness, and anger. If the left side is more active, we tend to be in a positive emotional state, with a sense of well-being, enthusiasm, even joy. Developing a greater ability to recover, then, should show up as a shift in the relative activity between the two sides of the prefrontal cortex. The left side ought to become more active as the right side calms down. In fact, that happened with a group that practiced mindfulness meditation for 8 weeks. They had greater activity in the left side, reported a stronger sense of well-being, and even showed a positive change in immune system function, as measured by influenza antibody titers. Those who had the most activity in the left prefrontal cortex had the strongest immune system response, suggesting a connection between overall well-being and the health of the immune system. According to Dr. Davidson's study on the correlation of prefrontal cortex with affective style, when the left side of prefrontal cortex is more activated, the feeling of happiness is increased with the boosted immune system. Exercise 4. Focus groups are commonly used in marketing, but in some countries there are very real problems with them. Since it is difficult to recruit random people to be in focus groups, research agencies have developed large pools of consumers willing to take part in focus groups at short notice. However, the problem is that many of these consumers are too willing. Research has revealed that many consumers enjoy the pay, free food, and experience of being an expert and focus on pleasing the moderator in order to get invited back regularly. Unfortunately, the way to please the very human moderator seems to be to work out what they want to hear, rather than providing them with genuine insights about the brand. This makes much of the data gained from focus group panels worthless. Agencies are aware of this problem and ensure a churn rate within groups to keep them fresh, but consumers get around this by using multiple names in order to remain in the pool. Focus groups formed from consumer pools often fail to provide reliable feedback because the participants' primary goal is to be selected to enjoy the benefits of participation.